Now that you've found your spiritual practice, we actually have to start it. So, what I want to remind people with starting a spiritual practice is that whenever humans start something that they've never done before, they suck at it. I sucked at it. You might suck at it. I hope you suck at it. Because when I started my spiritual practice, I came at it from the wrong direction, and I started with sitting meditation, which was very difficult. I couldn't even sit for, 5 minutes on a good day without my mind being incredibly loud. So quiet sitting was not the term for me. It was very loud sitting. And that's where I started. And that was okay. If I could have sat at the beginning, for hours on end and be like, oh, I'm just sitting, just like I would sit and watch TV, I could sit in a posture like it should be no different. If I could have sat quietly for hours, then that means that quality of stillness would have already been within me, and there would have been no point to do the practice. So if it's difficult at first, it's because that's why it's a practice, and that's why we're beginners at it. What I want to offer you, if you are like me and you thought that meditation means sitting quietly, you can also move and meditate. Moving meditation was what saved me. I did Qigong, the characters on my shirt. And once I found that, I'm a guy that's like, I like to move. That really helped move me through the stages of spiritual practice in terms of calming the inner world and healing the relationship I had with my own spirit and mind through movement, through an expression of what was going on inside me. So anything from walking meditation to, just anything with activity that helps you focus and get out of your inner dialogue and become really present and absorbed in what you're doing. That's a great place to start. And as long as you can maintain that focus, that's what I recommend doing it for. Because with the spiritual practice, what we don't want is to become obligated or hateful with our spiritual practice. And I know hate is a strong word, but what I mean is, I have to do this, or dreadful, dreading that a practice is going to come up. I got to do my 30 minutes of sitting today. I haven't done it. I need to do it. It's obligation. The way to avoid having that kind of relationship is you sit for as long as you can sit. Push yourself a little each day. Again, I went back to sitting because that's just such an easy marker for me. There might be other people who can already sit for hours starting out, and what they need to do is work at maintaining that state while their eyes are open and they're engaged in the world and connecting with their body. So whatever stage of the practice you're at, being at that stage and just a little progress each day. A little progress each day. Don't try to judge yourself or have these benchmarks that are unrealistic to shoot for, because that'll just create friction that's no longer helpful. And we don't want to force the spiritual practice at all. The whole process of these changes and these things working within us, it takes a long time, and it takes us a long time to adjust to changes, as we know from anyone that's gone through sudden life changes that were extreme. It's like a shock that everything gets shattered. It works both ways. If everything in your life suddenly got better because you did become fully enlightened, let's say, that would also be a huge shock. So the gradual path of the spiritual practice is the one that's most admirable in my eyes. Because if this tortoise pace eventually gets wherever your spiritual aspirations are, the tortoise pace gets there one step at a time and focuses on each step. So I'd like to hear where you're at with your spiritual practice, whether that's something that you see a progression in, or it's something you just simply do to align yourself for that day, and that's what works for you. Um, I'd love to hear everyone's stories and the comments in the comments about, yeah, how the beginning was, and was it rough? Was it something you fell into? I'd like to see the variety of experience, because that's what I think helps us all learn best. So thank you for watching, and see you in another video.